15th webinar to support NGOs. We are living in a very, very hard times, and we feel the power of internet comes in handy in sharing our experiences. Please type in where you're logging in from. I can see South Africa. Please, in the chat room, tell us where you're logging in from. I can see Cameroon. Please type, tell us where you're logging from. Kenya, I can see Kenya. Grace, India. Mozambique, Tanzania, Benin, Somalia, Zambia, Kenya, Senegal, Ghana, South Africa, Zimbabwe, Cambodia, New Zealand, Botswana. Thank you, Uganda. Thank you very much, Afghanistan. Thank you, Netherlands. Thank you, Kenya. Thank you, Somalia, Zimbabwe. Thank you. I want to welcome you all to this webinar. This is our 15th webinar targeting development organizations. And we've had webinars on monitoring and evaluation, water and sanitation, project management, proposal writing and fundraising, grants management, all geared to empower the development sector. And our focus today is on online fundraising Nigeria. Thank you very much, Nigeria. Welcome on board. The last webinar, we were discussing traditional way of fundraising, and we had lots of questions on online fundraising. So we decided to dedicate this session today on online fundraising, and we'll share a lot of experiences on what works and what does not work. And let me just give you a brief that fundraising is what drives development work, the whole world. Without fundraising, development work cannot happen. And the benefits of being a good fundraiser is, you're able to change, address problems in the society. Rwanda, thank you very much, Rwanda. Fundraisers, some of the most highly paid managers in a development organization. You also have, if you're a fundraiser, you have higher chances for job promotion because your services are highly needed. A fundraiser has skills to make a difference in an organization as well as a given community. So we want to appreciate fundraisers, and fundraising consultancies equally pay very well. If you have raised money, if you have acted as a fundraiser, please type yes in the chat room, type yes if you've been a fundraiser, and we appreciate you for the work you're doing. Thank you very much. Yes, yes, yes. Jafed, yes. Munyoki, yes. Someone else, another fundraiser. Yes, yes, Hubert Henga, yes, thank you very much, thank you. Peggy Ramafane, thank you, yes, yes. Today we have a guest from Malawi. Her name is Tiwonge Tasha. She'll give us some tips. She's on her experiences as a fundraiser, working with NGOs for over 20 years. And I will also take you on fundraising tips, online fundraising tips, and then we'll introduce you to our fundraising masterclass. And thereafter, we will have Bangladesh. Thank you very much. Come on board, Bangladesh. Thank you. Then we will have questions and answers from you so that we make the session productive. Thank you very much and welcome. Is Tiwonge Tasha, are you ready? Please take 30 minutes to do a presentation. And then I will take the participants through online fundraising strategies. Thank you. Tiwonge? I think she's not ready. So what I'm going to do is I'll run straight to my session on fundraising and online fundraising strategies. And then we'll welcome her back during the session. Thank you. All right, like I've said, my name is John Karegwa. I'm the training director of Strategia Netherlands. And Strategia Netherlands offers courses.
Hello, John.
Yes, she ready?
Hello, she's ready.
Okay.
I think she was having challenges with unmuting herself.
Okay. Then
Okay.
let me stop my share. Thank you. Welcome
Hello.
to thank you.
Yes, thank you. I couldn't unmute myself. It needed an administrator to be able to unmute me. So
Okay.
thanks for doing that. And good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I hope you are able to see me, and what a pleasure for me to be here. My name is Tiwonge Tasha. That's my linked in name, but my full name is Tiwonge Simkonda. And I've worked with nonprofit organizations or NGOs in fundraising, resource mobilization from a strategic point of view, which is development of strategies, development of resource mobilization, fundraising strategies, development or conducting donor mapping exercise, donor scoping, and the actual development of proposals. I've also supported in grants management and also in strategic communication and visibility for fundraising. So it's such a pleasure for me to be here, and I'm so delighted. I'll ask you, John, if you can be able to share my slides, if you're able to from that end, because I can't log in through my laptop. Unfortunately, I've tried to log in a number of times, so I'm working through my phone. John, would you confirm if you're able to do that? If not, then
Nick, can you assist her? Nick? Nick?
Yes.
Please share her screen.
Okay.
So we're here, and I know that John has laid a very good foundation in terms of the objective of our session today. And I'm happy that John has walked you through the journey of fundraising. I'm just going to focus on the issue of fundraising in the new norm being the current context of COVID-19 and the impact that has brought in fundraising or resource mobilization, and also try to understand, to say, what are the strategies that we can put in place for us to effectively fundraise in the challenging context that we're in, also mindful that as organizations, we need to continue to service and to deliver on the different programs that we are working in. In as far as NGOs or nonprofits are concerned, we find ourselves in such a difficult situation because of the fact that by our very nature, we usually don't venture into, businesses or other ventures that give us, resources, like we're not for profit. And as such, much in terms of the tradition has been to, rely on the goodwill of others being donors, private sector, philanthropists, foundations, to be able to support us in the different causes that we actually embark on. And in as far as nonprofits or NGOs are concerned, we usually run the risk of not being financially sustainable, because what usually happens is you have a donor who will give you money today, and they give you for a very specific cause and say, deliver on, either a promotion of education, promotion of WASH, and promotion of human rights, for example. And after a period, say 6 months or 1 year or 5 years, when the project ends, that's where the funding ends as well. So we usually find ourselves in a very difficult situation where we run the risk of not being financially sustainable if we don't have the right, tools, the right techniques, and the right systems. I know that the screen will be up. I just want to have your reflections in terms of your fundraising. What has been the biggest impact since the dawn of COVID-19? Feel free to type in. I just wanted to understand, to say, what has been the biggest challenge in our fundraising is concerned in the era that we are in, which is the era of COVID-19. feel free to type in, and I'll really ensure that I focus on those key aspects. Okay, there is a comment to say here in Tanzania we need much support, especially in fundraising. Donors pulling out due to non-availability of funds, which is very true. So because it's a chain, you find that donors also have their back donors. And the trend in terms of challenging has also been impacted even by the donors. Collapse of economic status of many companies. Time and time we are having to resort to corporate fundraising, and also corporates have been hit. Local organizations sending resources to COVID response, and which means that other, programmatic areas have been actually affected. You talk about HIV and AIDS programming, human rights programming. It has hugely been affected because there has been a diversion of funds to COVID-19. Change in donor funding strategy, which is very true, and I'm also going to speak to that, to say most of the donors, their funding strategies changed. Unrestricted funding versus restricted funding, and change in donor priorities, very, very true. And also there has been lack of connections of NGOs with donors. We have been so much used to the traditional ways of engaging with donors, where we meet a donor or we actually know that this is how their cycles run. But time and time, there has been those challenges, and I'm also going to speak to that. Not sure if we are ready with the slides, and otherwise, I fully agree with the sentiments that have been shared in the chat. Donor interest in consortium than one or single organization-led response. This is extremely true. This is very true. The preference now is going towards consortia. Others call them, group implementation, or multi-organization implementation model, where you have a number of organizations actually contributing or delivering, and those programs are of high scale, multi-layered as well. Funding scarcities are available every field of social development, which is very true. Every other social development, or the development sector, has not been spared in as far as issues of funding are actually concerned. I'm going to share my presentation, so maybe I can just, John, I can just go straight to some of the key areas for my presentation. And finally, short-term versus long-term funding. I think this is very true. You have very, time-bound, projects. Other projects, not realistic. They tell you only implement in 6 months. What can you do in 6 months? Considering that the challenges are multi-layered, they need a multifaceted approach. They need, long-term to confront issues of behavior change, for example, issues of entrenched, political dynamics, and it brings and it begs for us, to have a more holistic, and in terms of long timed, programs and projects. So there has been a number of definitions in as far as fundraising is concerned. And I know that when John was asking to say how many are fundraisers, I saw that many of us are fundraisers here. So I'll not really belabor you in terms of what the definitions are, but I wanted us just to understand the difference between resource mobilization and fundraising, because I think it also has or presents a number of issues, and even in terms of how best we approach the strategies that we have or put in place. So resource mobilization refers to all the activities involved in securing new and additional resources for an organization. So you look at a set of activities, a set of strategies put in place to ensure that we're able to secure resources. On the other hand, fundraising is a process. So fundraising can be looked at as a subset of resource mobilization. So it is a process of seeking or soliciting or asking for financial support from donors, trusts, foundations, or corporates or philanthropists for us to actually be able to deliver on our work. The difference in these two terminologies is the fact that fundraising is an act that starts and ends when you approach a donor and the donor gives you resources and you're able to identify those resources. While resource mobilization extends beyond the fact that you have got those resources to even going in as far as utilization of those resources, communication with the donors, how you are able to comply with the donor rules and regulations. And it feeds into the cycle of further resource mobilization, because how you are able to do all that, how you are able to implement the program, how you are able to comply to the donor rules and regulations increases your chance in terms of how you're well able to retain those particular donors and get more funding. Then, why is it important for organizations to be able to effectively raise resources or mobilize resources? So, as I said, organizations, NGOs, by their very nature that they are not profit organizations, and usually they don't have strong reserves for continuity. Organizations need resources or need to secure resources to meet current short-term, medium, and long-term needs of the organization for the survival of the organization. So we should be able to meet the needs of the organization in the short term, in the medium term, and in the long term. Also, resources are important for us to, achieve the strategic outcomes. So every organization has got an aim or an objective. So when you look at your strategic paper or your strategic blueprint, it spells out what your overall goals, aims, and ambitions are. So it varies. So others. I've seen your comment, Boston. I'm actually going to share the slides. We are actually just facing a challenge to put up the slide. Maybe John, are you here? There is a comment to say I need to put up the slide.
Nick, please assist her. Nick.
Let me know if you have the presentation. I know you have it there.
Okay, Sean?
Yeah.
Kindly share with me the presentation so that I can share using my screen.
Okay.
Okay, as we are waiting for that, I know it's important that you are able to see the slides. So I'm just going to be speaking to some of the issues that we were talking about in terms of what the challenges are, and also be able to speak to some of the things I've spoken to in terms of why we need resources. So I was just saying, we need resources for us to exist, and we exist for different aims and objectives. I'm just going to ask you, can you just write on the chat box in terms of what the aim of your organization is? You can just quickly put in the chat box in terms of what is the aim of your organization? Why do you survive? Feel free to type in the, okay, from Basil, education to vulnerable children, excellent. from Peggy, preventing gender-based violence, community development from Douglas, which is excellent. Support to farmers' grassroots initiatives, yeah. So the question is, what is the overall aim of your organization? Why do you exist? Community development, from Charles Fasey, coastal management, and also in understanding why you exist, it gives you a drive to understand why you actually need to raise resources for you to be able to deliver on that big ambition of why you exist. To assist with chronic illnesses emotionally, that's Esther, from Joyce, promotion of agro skills. If you don't mind, you can put the name of the organization so that also people can search you out, can look at your organization. If there are any areas that you can build networks and coalition, I think this platform may also be good to actually foster those coalitions. So if you don't mind, you can put the name of the organization and why you exist. Devatop Center, yeah. Combat climate warming, yeah. It's a New Hope Nursery, great. AHI Kenya, community, improve community health, yeah. Medical, Legal and Ethics Society, that's great. I see you, Feisa. Center for Health Solutions, I see you. Emad Basadi, Women Empowerment in Economic, yeah, that's great. Pazatech Organization, I see you. Peggy from Women Trust, I see you. Women Against Rape Trust in Botswana, that's great. Combating Climate Change, yeah. I'm doing this so that you are able to actually go back and see organizations that we can learn from each other, and even, you know, if it speaks to what you're doing, you can even try to approach each other and through the website and other digital footprints that you have. Green community mindset, great. Okay, so I've seen that there is an array of organizations, Farmers UTENA organization, Oxfam International Uganda, that's great. So we exist for different aims and objectives, combating climate change, which is great. And I've seen another organization working around combating climate change as well. Enhance quality of life, yeah, of people with disabilities, which is great. Promote advancement of women in international trade. All these are causes that are really worth pursuing. When you look at the challenges that people, communities are facing, there is a valid need that needs to be addressed. There is a gap, there is a challenge that all of us, when we're in the eyes of the founders of the organization, or whether we are founders or whether we are people that are implementing, there is actually something that as an organization we exist for. And since we don't have resources on our own, we rely on other organizations to be able to support us, for us to be able to deliver. And this is where fundraising is very important. And time again, I find that for most organizations, fundraising is an afterthought. So they'll start, you know, looking at how best they can develop good programs, they can strengthen the staff in terms of programs, they can develop techniques, and then they sort of, the next question is, so how are we going to do this? How are we going to deliver? Yeah, and usually when you look at the number of people or the sort of investment that is put in fundraising or resource mobilization, you find that there is low investment to fundraising or resource mobilization. So an organization can have dreams or ambitions to raise 1 billion, and then they just invest, say, $1 billion US, and they just invest 1,000 or 1 million US dollars. So there is a mismatch between what is actually invested and what the ambition is in terms of what do we want to get, what resources do you want to have for us to deliver? And that presents a number of challenges. I have worked with organizations where you find in the programs team, there are over 100 staff. In resource mobilization team, there is maybe 2 or 3 people and maybe one intern. You actually sense that there is low interest or low investment that is put on fundraising. But when the organization is going through financial challenges, all the heads tilt to fundraisers and say, what is it that you're doing? Help us, can you raise more resources? As if, fundraisers are just robots, or fundraisers can just turn the tables around, or they have an account somewhere where they can just be able to draw from, which is not the case. So there is need for serious analysis and interrogation, and also it calls on us as fundraisers to actually be able to get into those conversations. Other strategies that other organizations have put is program-led fundraising, where you have key programs people that are actually involved in resource mobilization. So it's not just the role of resource mobilization team, or it's not just the responsibility of 1 or 2 people to raise resources, but that even in the programs team, the project manager, the head of programs, the M&E, they have different roles and responsibilities that are actually embedded in their terms of reference, that they also have to, contribute or have specific roles in as far as resource mobilization is concerned. So it's important that we initiate as fundraisers those conversations within the organizations, and to actually be in the forefront to push for more, management role and management responsibility and leadership role. So leadership at different levels, even at the level of the board, at the level of senior management, junior management, and even at the level of, officers and even the lowest cadre in every organization. Just to check before I proceed, John, are we good on the slides? Japhet?
No, not yet, Nick. We still have not received your slides.
Okay, so in that case, John, do you want to come in first so that then we can be able to resolve, or do you want me to proceed without slides?
Proceed, then we take questions, then I will do my presentation, please.
Okay, all right. I'm really sorry for that.
Technology fails sometimes.
Okay. So, what are the realities of affecting fundraising at the moment? So there are a number of challenging or developments that are happening in the sector. All of us cannot run away from COVID-19. COVID-19 is something that, all of us 4 years ago or 3 years ago, we did not anticipate the crisis we are in today. And for those that maybe developed their strategies, resource mobilization or fundraising strategies, or their strategic papers 3 years ago, they never anticipated that COVID would come in and it would hit how it has hit us. you find that because of COVID-19, there have been multiple issues, challenges, and even for some, opportunities that have come as a result of COVID-19. Apart from COVID-19, there have been other developments that we cannot be blind to. The issue of Brexit, which has brought in dynamics. If you are an organization that is affiliated to a UK-based organization, or you are a UK-based organization yourself, you cannot run away from the impact of Brexit in as far as resources from EU are concerned. There is issue of international geopolitics, global economic situation. I think we have spoken to this to say, when you look at the challenges that are facing the world, most of the countries that have been the biggest, donors, they have taken the route of looking in, asking themselves to say, instead of us looking out and helping out, why don't we first of all sort the challenges that we are facing in our own countries, challenges of unemployment, and also that has resulted in cuts in development aid. You, as a fundraiser, I know you are aware of cuts in terms of UK government, UK aid. There have been those cuts, and even in terms of prioritization, areas where organizations have actually changed their focus or changed their priorities. There have been emerging patterns on the funding models as well. So you'll find that when the NGOs were coming in, the funds would just trickle in the global south. There were billions and billions of funds that were actually given to fight or address issues of development, poverty, inequalities, injustice, and there were so much money that had been put in. And some of that did not come with any conditions whatsoever. There was also very flexible funds in terms of capacity building, where there was a feel or a need to actually strengthen civil society in the global south. However, we have seen that trajectory has changed. It's not just, free money. There are so many conditions that have come in as far as management of those funding or grants is concerned. There has been also issues of donor fatigue. Certain sectors that have been funded for so long, for example, there was so much money that was pumped into HIV/AIDS at some point, but over time, not that HIV/AIDS has the rate much as it has gone down, but it's still an issue. But there has been a bit of fatigue in some of those programmatic areas. The other thing is coming in of many players. So 20 years ago, when you look at the players that were in the development sector, it would just be, organizations, non-profit organizations or non-governmental organizations that were the biggest player in as far as development work is concerned. However, in recent times, we have seen that is not the sole jurisdiction or sole territory of non-profit organizations. Other players have come in. Private sector organizations have come in to actually deliver development work. It's not just that. There has been coming in of consulting agencies or suppliers, as they are commonly called, that have come in. The coming in of academia, universities actually implementing the work in the development sector. Even individuals. You see, so individuals like Bill and Melinda Gates, for example, the foundation, would commonly know them as belonging to the private sector. However, they are also, implementing in the development sector. So much as there would be donors, they are also they are also, coming in to implement the projects or programs. There also has been coming in of focus in terms of addressing the upcoming challenges. So there can be a routine or ways of working, but you find that there are other things or emergencies that come in, you know, issues of floods, issues of climate change, you know, the impact of climate change, you know, there are so many issues, human trafficking, you know, things that we cannot actually anticipate, but, you know, time and time again, there's those topical issues that come in and go. And because of that, you know, they or we need to appreciate that the context has changed, and we need to actually be aware to those contexts. Issues of political interference or political conditions or climate. You find that because of democracy, governments are having to change. So in most of the countries, after 6 years, there is an election, and depending on how the election goes, it's either a new government coming in or maybe the same government. And because of those particular changes in the political situation, you know, there are also changes in terms of priorities. So you'll find that maybe for our friends in Zambia, they're just going through an election now. You know, you never know how the outcome would be, and maybe the priority for the current government is something else. The new government may also change in terms of the course of direction, and donors also respond to those changing dynamics or changing context. I've talked about geopolitics as well, the coming in of international or multinational organizations coming in to address different challenges. You talk about BRICS, you talk about other, you know, blocks or bodies, SADC. They also present their own, you know, changes and dynamics in as far as context is concerned. I'm not oblivious to, you know, the national context and even the community context in which we operate. All of those issues, you know, they have a way or they have an impact in terms of what the priorities are, what the funding priorities are, and how we're able to position ourselves in as far as raising resources is concerned. You feel free to write on the chat box your reflections on what I have shared, and maybe other, you know, factors that you think also have an effect in as far as the fundraising context is concerned. I'm also going to zero in on how COVID-19 has impacted. There was a report that was done in 2020 in UK that actually looked at the impact of COVID-19 or the potential impact of COVID-19. And there were projections to say that there is a decline in voluntary income of 48%. And also that the charities have actually been impacted. There are also a finding to say that there have been unconventional grant award protocols as well. So you find that donors would have a pattern to say, maybe for you said after every 5 years, there would be a call for proposal, or there would be early market engagements. And after early market engagement, would know that maybe a call for proposal would come, maybe would have 3 months for us to respond. But because of COVID-19, we have seen that those, you know, standing protocols have not actually been applied or implemented. What actually happened for most of the donors is if they already had existing partnerships, there was just a top up. You know, there was just a top up in terms of, you know, just increasing their budget, maybe to respond to COVID-19 or to integrate, you know, COVID-19 measures as well. So you find that those particular standing protocols or ways of working have not played out the same way that things have actually been used to. Also, the cost of fundraising. Depending on which side you sit, if your fundraising has been more of, you know, face-to-face physical engagement, or you actually do events that you invite people, you invite philanthropists, or you engage with private sector, that has not been the case because of limitations in terms of face-to-face interaction. And because of that, for organizations that did not have very strong digital systems or footprints, they have had to invest in those digital infrastructure. However, for those that already had the digital infrastructure in place, there has been, low utilization of resources in as far as investment to fundraising is concerned. So organizations found themselves in a situation where they couldn't do those events, which sometimes take a lot of money. And for some, as I said, it has been a saving. But for those that did not have a very good digital footprint, they have had to invest in IT infrastructure. So depending on which side you sit, there has been those either huge investment or less of financial investment. So now, beyond what has been or what is the reality, what is it that as fundraisers we can do? And I know that in terms of the expectations, most of us were speaking to, I want to know what strategies, effective strategies I can actually put in place. So I'm going to answer those particular questions. However, I may not be exhaustive, and in the end, I'll also seek your reflections in terms of what has worked for you. What I'm about to present may not 100% work for all of us, so it also calls for us to be adaptive and be able to see what actually fits our organization. So first and foremost, every organization has a fundraising or resource mobilization strategy, and for others, they also have a fundraising strategies. And in our fundraising strategy, we actually stipulate what it is, what measures, what strategies, what activities we need to we actually have to employ for us to be able to raise resources. And first and foremost, when we look at the changing dynamics, we need to appreciate that those strategies are not cast in stone, because for every fundraiser, there will be an activity, or there will be something that may come in that may even shake the foundation or the spirit of your strategy. And it is something that we need to be mindful of, that we shouldn't really put ourselves in a corner where we use the fundraising strategy as it is. We need to be adaptive. And for most of us and for organization, there is a need to go back to that fundraising or to that resource mobilization strategy as an organization, and to have that particular discussion as an organization, and actually have those debates to say, what is it? What are the trends? What are the challenges? It's important to actually start from a strategic point of view than an activity point of view. When you start to look at fundraising from an activity point of view, you lose out the bigger picture of the external factors or the external environment and conditions that have an impact, as well as the internal dynamics that also have an impact. So we need to go to those particular strategy or strategy papers and actually ask ourselves to say, is this still the situation, or have things changed? And do we have to change as well to respond? Secondly, there is need to actually do a rapid assessment. So we may not have the luxury of time to actually do a 2 months, assessment or a mapping exercise. A fundraiser needs to actually have every maybe 6 months, every 3 months, to actually look at your mapping report, your donor mapping report, to actually reflect on that, and to actually initiate those discussions in your various teams and organizations to say, what are the changing dynamics? What are the changes in terms of scope of donors? What are there new entrants in the market that have come in? It can be private sector that may come in with a huge, envelope of money, or it may be a new philanthropist that has come in the sector, or it may be a philanthropist that was commonly known to deliver education work and they change their focus. So we need to go back and really interrogate that. There is also need to actually look at our projects and our programs and to be able to redesign the ways of working. So COVID-19 actually brought in a new dimension. So I'll give an example. If, for example, you are an organization that is working in WASH, for example, you had to actually see or start to analyze the impact of COVID-19 to WASH, or the other existing vulnerabilities that came in as far as COVID-19 is concerned. So you didn't need to actually become a WASH expert overnight, or you didn't have to come in as a lead in how to address emergencies, but you needed to have those discussions in terms of how do you bring in that layer or integrate or aligning yourselves and your programming, because there isn't a one size fits all approach in as far as development work is concerned. The fourth factor is to redesign activities. As I said, one, we have talked about redesigning projects and programs, but also redesigning the activities under those particular programmatic frameworks. There's also need to actually pivot to digital communication. So this is the time that as NGOs, we don't need to go dark. This is the time that we actually need to be more visible. And I know that for other organizations that want to take a background role and they don't want to be as visible as much, they have also faced a number of challenges when COVID hit in, because those face-to-face conversations were not there, those face-to-face spaces were not there, physical spaces were not there. So it needs, or it begs us to actually invest in digital infrastructure that makes us more visible to the outside world. It makes us visible in as far as profiling our work is concerned. It makes us visible in as far as engaging with donors is concerned. It makes us visible in terms of profiling how we are able to deliver, and we are a strategic player in as far as development work is concerned. Also, there is a need to create alternatives in terms of our ways of working. I know that online fundraising is not maybe bread and butter for most organizations, but those are the angles and the dynamics or dimensions that we need to start to invest in. Someone talked about consortia or consortia building. Yeah, I know that for organizations, there have been a challenge to say, how do we set up pre-bid consortia? Because you find trends where organizations want to work in isolation and even going as far as competing for resources. But we need to get in spaces where we are able to form and to initiate the formation of strong groups or consortiums, because it's those consortiums that donors are actually interested in. We also need to diversify. I know the issue of diversification in as far as resource mobilization is concerned has become topical in recent years. Organizations, particularly non-profits, we do not have most of the times the expertise to venture in other, income generating activities. And I know for most organizations, they have come back to say, what is it that we can do? We are not a profit-oriented organization, but we have written 100 proposals, but we have not been successful. But you find that there are an organization that maybe they are providing training. It's actually important to actually design income-generating activities within your area of competence. For example, if you're a training organization, you can actually have another, department or unit, or you can have another set of activities that can actually develop, trainings that people can pay, organizations can pay. It's not something that is entirely new or different to what you're working, but you have just added in that, extra layer of being able to realize incomes from those particular ventures or initiatives. Also, there have been other, opportunities where NGOs can partner with private sector organizations. If there is a private sector organization that also does similar things to what you're doing, it's also important that you can partner with them to actually deliver goods or to deliver service, and be able to raise resources. So those resources are not for you, that there are profits that your trustees can take or the directors can take and enjoy the benefits. All those resources will be coming in, or they will be plowed back to help you to actually deliver on your aims and objectives, but also they're important to build your reserve. Because it's not always that you'll be successful in proposals. It's not always that you have EU funding you for 20 years. It's not always that CISA will be funding you for 20 years. There's going to be a time where they'll stop. And there's going to be a time where there will be drought, where there will not be resources coming in. It's those resource reserves that takes you a mile further, that makes you to be financially sustainable. So we need to find ways, and we need to actually build strong business case. It's not just working overnight and say we are going to venture into stationery. No, it's important to have business case, well laid out business case for you to be able to venture into those other income generating activities. Innovation and agility. The word innovation has actually been abused in the development sector. But it's actually important for organizations to be actually innovative in their approach. So you are, yes, Musa, yes, I'm going to share the slides. So you have been working, for example, in the HIV sector, or you've been working in climate change. You realize that you will not have opportunities, funding opportunities that will be 100% climate change. There will be opportunities that will come in that will be climate change, but they will have resilience in it. They will have education in climate change. They will have women leadership in climate change. So it also calls upon organizations to be innovative in terms of how best you can adapt, you can bring on board other areas that actually, are aligned or can be integrated in your work. If you don't have those particular competences now, that's where partnerships are important and they come into play. The other issue is team coherence. As fundraisers, we're used to situations where there would be a call for proposal, we would have maybe a proposal development workshop, which is not the case now, maybe because of COVID-19. So other technologies or other ways of working needs to be put in place for you to achieve the same, goals and objectives in as far as resource mobilization is concerned. And it also calls upon us as organizations, as fundraisers, to have those, team building skills and to be team players, to actually be able to understand, the competences within your team, to understand, that extra hand that will come into support, to understand if at all you even need extra, external support to actually beef up your resource mobilization efforts. You don't have to give yourself sleepless nights. If it is an opportunity that is worth pursuing and you really want to do it, however, you don't have the time, you don't have, the right ammunition, you are at liberty to seek for external support so that you are able to develop strong proposals or concepts at the end of the day. So as I said, this is not cast on stone. I want to understand your reflections, and this is where I had put in my presentation a reflection session, question and answers. But before I drop the mic, I want to say that fundraising is an investment. And they always say, and I always emphasize this, that your investment today is going to determine your return in a year's time. What you invest today is what you are going to reap in 2022. We should not look at fundraising as a one day. You do a proposal today and tomorrow you expect money. No, you have to invest. You invest in relationships with the donor. You invest in understanding the donors. You invest in understanding the trends. You invest in building a team that is able to communicate effectively with the donor, and you give it actually time for you to deliver on these, techniques, and then to be able to see your return. So give yourself at least a year to say what you are investing in today should determine what you are going to get in 2022. If we look at resource mobilization as I invest today and I should get returns tomorrow, which most organizations unfortunately are doing, you find that your level of return will be very low and you actually be very frustrated. The other thing I want to emphasize is mental health. As fundraisers, we should not see ourselves and be people that carry the whole burden of an organization, where when people see you, they see dollar signs or GBP signs on top of your head. No, you have to emphasize teamwork, team effort, and make it a program-driven resource mobilization. I've seen Caro is laughing. I know during COVID, fundraisers have come back and say, I'm experiencing burnout. We are going through this, but my organization is expecting me to raise, these billions overnight. I can't do it. It's how you communicate. It's how you are able to ensure that resource mobilization is a responsibility of the entire organization. I would want your reflections. I had some guiding questions, but I want to hear to say what has worked for you in as far as resource mobilization in our current situation of COVID-19 is concerned. So feel free to put in your comments or reflections in the chat box. And I'm not sure, John, can we allow one or two people to share their reflections?
Yes, you can take some questions directly.
All right. So over to you.
If you have a question, raise your hand and Nick will unmute your microphone. Thank you. Anybody with a question? Or you can type in your question at the chat area.
Yeah, just to say that I think when I was sharing, there was a comment.
There's a question there.
Okay, what are some pointers for building consortiums? Okay, let me just take 2 or 3 questions. Maybe as we are waiting for questions to come in, there is an interesting question here. What are some pointers for building consortiums? So building consortiums is not, a one-way process. There is one need for acknowledgement and understanding in terms of who are you? What sort of organizations are you? And then also, it is important to actually do an analysis to understand who are the other players in the sector. So the other players can be NGOs, the other players can be government, The other players can be even private sector, it can be influential organizations. So we shouldn't limit ourselves to say we are going to enter into a consortium with an NGO. Yeah, so you need to actually do a stakeholder mapping to actually understand who the other players, relevant players and stakeholders are. And then when you get post that level of doing assessment, you need to be able to come up with a list of potential organizations. And then those you can zero in to actually understand their values, their ethos, their ways of working, to ensure that there is that alignment with your purpose as well as with your values. And after you have done that, communication is at the center. For you to build effective consortiums, you need to actually be an organization that is out there, that expresses itself to organization and shows itself that it is interested to partner with other organizations. The other thing is, if you're able to do that and you have identified 4 or 5 organizations, it's important to actually do a pre-bid agreement. You know, I know you can be talking, but the moment there is a call for proposal, you find other organizations pulling each other. So you know that there is one organization that's very good on human rights, and everyone comes flocking and wants to partner with that organization. But if you enter into a pre-bid agreement, you sort of lock each other and say, if an opportunity comes, we are going to do a bid as a consortium. So it's also being able to have those pre-bid agreements where you are clear in terms of the roles and responsibilities of each. Yeah. How to get donors with specific NGO activities, or how to know donors' interest of donating. I think that's where I've said that you need to actually do donor scoping or donor mapping to actually understand the specific NGO activities, what their interests are, what their priorities are. And this is not an activity that should just be you get a consultant to be able to do it. As I said, as fundraisers, we need to get in a space where on monthly basis, if we have identified 5 key donors that we know that these are key to our work, we need to be constantly on checking their website, checking their communication materials, checking their reports that are coming in on their website, attending their meetings so that we are well updated in terms of what their priorities are. What makes new organizations have requirements to be funded, like if we don't have audited financial reports yet? So I know now there have been a number of conditions or requirements for organizations to be funded. And unfortunately for new entrants or community-led organizations or grassroots organizations, they have actually faced a number of challenges in as far as complying to those requirements is concerned. For example, audited financial reports, the requirement of having board meetings, board reports. If you don't have such systems in place, and you have a donor that is interested, you can actually partner with other organizations. So then in that case, you can be a sub to an organization that has got all that. And then over time, but you still need to build yourself, because you can't just say we'll continue to be a sub for the longest time. You need to have a growth strategy to say we'll be a sub for this period of time, but in the course, we'll actually be building ourselves, building our systems, building our profile. The other thing is for other organizations or donors that are interested, they actually have a middle organization, or they would actually get other organizations to mentor you. So you can actually get in a mentorship partnership where you access funds, but then there is a mentoring organization that then handles all the engagement with the donors. Yeah. Finally, there's a reflection from UTENA, youth organization. what has worked for Utena is getting funded by existing partners because of good relationship and quality work. We have received funding through referrals from our donors. Visit www.utena. Okay, this is very important. And in fundraising, what you currently have is the biggest weapon or a biggest asset for you to get more. So there are other donors that are very strategic. For example, if you have partnership with EU, you benefit from their platform. You benefit from their website. They put work for Utena on EU website. You know that most organizations or other funders will actually visit EU website and they'll actually get to know what you're doing. So what you actually have at the moment in as far as partnership is concerned, treasure that partnership, because it has potential for growth and it has potential of attracting other donors. Shed more light. I don't know how much time I have, John.
I think
because there are more and more questions, other questions I can be responding as maybe you are presenting. I'm not sure. I can take all the time because there are more and more questions.
Take one more. I think time is against us. Take one more question. Yeah. Then they can continue in the chat room and you can continue responding to them the chat area.
Okay. So there is a question. So please shed more light on strategic plan, resource mobilization and partnership. I think I was talking about strategic plan to say our fundraising has to, start from a strategic point of view, where first of all, we have our strategic plan as an organization. And in that strategic plan, we actually spell out what our objectives are, what we want to achieve. And it is also important to actually be realistic to what it is that we want to achieve. And following from that strategic plan, it is important to develop a resource mobilization strategy. So your resource mobilization strategy needs to be mirrored on what you have in terms of your strategic plan as an organization. And in the resource mobilization strategy, you need also to be realistic in terms of what set of activities you actually put, what sort of strategies, who is going to be responsible for what is the time frame, what are the engagement points, what are the touch points for engaging with donors, what are the donor trends, and then how do we respond to those changing contexts and dynamics. So developing resource mobilization or fundraising strategy is a topic on its own, and it can actually take a day for us to go through. But I'm hoping that I have explained some of the key things that we need to be conversant with so that we have a good framework and we are not just donor driven, we are not just activity driven, but we have a vision, we have a goal, we have targets that we want to achieve as an organization. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I'm going to share, John, I'm going to see if I can resend the slides, and I'm also committing with John and the Strategia team that we're going to share the slides, I think, on this platform, and I know others are putting their website. I know, John, you'll find a way. You have asked me to say, are you how can someone ask, how can we find you? So I also provide support to organizations in as far as development of resource mobilization strategies is concerned. I also support with donor scoping. I also support with evaluations and also proposal development. I also offer, together with Strategia, trainings on resource mobilizations that are tailor-made to your actual needs and the needs of your organization. Thank you, John, for this, and over.
Thank you very much, Tuonge. That is very, very resourceful, and I'm sure we'll find ways of continuing this conversation. And most importantly, you've talked about the need to have digital component in our fundraising. And this is what I'm going to talk about in the next 30 minutes so that we understand the online fundraising strategies that our organizations can use, especially now that we are living in these hard times. Let me share my slides, and thank you very much to Wonge. Okay. Quickly now, I will talk about the online fundraising strategies that organizations can utilize. Physical meetings are becoming a problem. Traditional way of fundraising also has its own challenges, especially for small organizations. And that's why we are proposing alternative fundraising strategies. And online is the way to go, and everybody must have an online footprint if you want to remain in business and make a difference in your communities. And I'll quickly talk about defining online fundraising, advantages of online fundraising, how to prepare for online fundraising, best practices, and then I would outline about 10 different online fundraising strategies. Online fundraising is defined as raising money using internet, and it involves creating a platform where people can donate. You could use mobile money or card payments or peer-to-peer or other strategies, as long as you'll be able to market your organization and generate money digitally, or what you call online. Why is online fundraising important? We are living in unprecedented times, and therefore organizations have to think strategically how to raise money. The good thing is the digital space is global, and depending on how you position your product or your organization, you can raise money from every part of the world, even beyond your country. Why does online fundraising funding work? It's very easy. I would say it's easy because many people around the world have access to internet. In fact, about 4.5 billion people use social media, and social media we'll discuss in details is one of the strategies in which you can raise money away from the traditional proposal writing to different donors. Advantages of online fundraising: one is you can collect donations from every part of the world, and that's the best part about it. You don't have to go meet a donor in New York. You can get small donors to donate money within your country or from abroad. Depending on how you position your organization's costs for fundraising. The next advantage is online fundraising is one of the most cost-effective way to raise money from donors online. Fundraising, like Tuwonge has said, is expensive. You have to invest in putting up capacity for your organization. You have to pay consultants if you need to raise lots of money. But online fundraising comes in handy because it is cost-effective, and we'll show you how. The good thing with online or digital fundraising is that you let out your organization online, so lots of people get to know about your work, and it therefore becomes long-term strategy, because there could even be a conventional donor out there who gets to see your work as you're doing online fundraising, and that in itself is a capital, because it guarantees more and more resources when people or potential partners get to know your work. How do you prepare for online fundraising? Depending on your situation, you need to figure out what strategy you want to use. Different organizations can use different strategies. So I think the first thing is you need to assess your needs and your situation, and then you figure out the strategy. The first step is to understand yourself, because this has to be done strategically. And the next thing is get approval, for example, from your board or your leadership, because obviously when you're doing online, you have questions are raised in terms of who's behind this organization. And so it's good to get approval from your board so that you know, there's public goodwill towards giving to your organization. The third step is then select the right strategy and figure out which strategy you want to use, and figure out the fees, the costs, the setup for the online donation page, figure out the cost for integration to some software if you have to do you know, online promotions, and then also work out scalability options in terms of which social media you know, platforms do you want to use to scale up to market, or your website, search engine optimization, and so on and so forth. So once you've chosen the right strategy, then the next thing is to launch your marketing. Some of the strategies you can use to promote your marketing or your cause is through emails. There are many ways of putting together you know, targeted emails. Some of them are you can have a newsletter that you send to your partners online, and then or you could even use a software to collect emails online, and then you make a calls through emails, send your partners or to members of the public. The other strategy is using social media and the different platforms, including Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, LinkedIn. You can raise your cause in all these social media platforms. The world is gone, you know, digital. If you don't have a digital footprint, then it becomes a challenge for your organization. The other platform is driving traffic to your website through search engine optimization. Even Facebook also works as to drive traffic to your site, so that more and more people visit your site, and they see places where to donate. In fact, right now, newspapers are also charging for someone to read their stories on their website, and you pay something like $5, $2, $3, $10, $20. So you can create a checkout on your website. You could also do direct mails to potential partners, directing them to your site where they can make donations through either telephone pay bill or through checkout. And you could also make a public announcements in radio, TV, but direct traffic to a pay bill or to the website. And you could also do videos. Videos are the most powerful resource right now. You could promote your videos on YouTube or even on Facebook, telling your story that is can you know, attract people to support your cause. Of course, you want also to measure your strategy by tracking your metrics in terms of the number of donations. The average gift people have donated, is it at €2 or $2, or you know, and you know, so that then you're able to know how to scale up. And the best part is you want to set a period, maybe a month or two for the campaign to run, but you can also make it permanent on your website through the year for people to donate to different causes through the year. From experiences, some of the best practices for online fundraising are the world has become very busy, and people do not want long stories. So keep your form simple. If you are you have fundraising form on your website. Just state the cause, collect as little information from the people who are donating. People don't have long stories. If it becomes too long, they give up even before they get to the checkout. So keep it simple and on to the point in terms of what is your problem, how do you want assistance, how can I donate, and people want easy processes in making a donation. The second strategy is use consistent messages and branding. Don't use a different tens of flyers to say the same thing. Use a simple flyer to communicate a message. Be consistent and brand it so that when people see the messaging, they see it on YouTube, they see it on Facebook, they see the same message on LinkedIn. By the time they see it the 5th time or the 4th time, they actually want to give to your cause. So keep it simple, consistent, in terms of messaging and branding. Again, like I've said, minimize the required information. People don't have time to write long stories and to share personal information. So keep it straight and on to the point. Images work very well. In fact, someone has said, a picture speaks 1,000 words. But I would also add a video speaks, 1,000,000 words. So you can add an image on the cause that you need support, whether it's, women who need support, or children's home, or animals that need care. Show image that tells a story. And if you can illustrate that with a video, the better. Videos work magic because people can identify with videos. And there are millions of videos uploaded on YouTube or on social media platforms every day, including on TikTok and so on and so forth. So videos are the magic that can work in favor of your fundraising, online fundraising strategy. And again, if you can offer recurring donations so that someone pays or donates €2 or €5 every month, the better, so that then you have a stream of money flowing in to organization, every month, every other month. And you can also suggest different levels. Don't just focus on €5. Let the donor indicate if they want to give €5 or €10 or 20 or 30, or even large donations like $1,000. So leave it open for people to choose what they want to give, and you're good to go. Okay, now let's go to some of the common fundraising strategies. I'll put together about 13 fundraising strategies that can work. Away from traditional fundraising from donors. You can go online, and these are some of the core strategies. One I've mentioned is the form. You create a fundraising form on your website, and then you attract traffic to the website, and that's the easiest one. Filling information, you state the cause, have a fundraising form, and then have a checkout where people can go in and just contribute. So make it simple and straightforward, and you'll be surprised how much money you can raise. Just last week I saw an organization that had raised 32,000 euros within 2 weeks for some water project in Kenya, and you get traffic to your site, and more people contribute small monies, and you meet your objective. So the first one is online donation form. The second one is what we call crowdfunding. This is how crowdfunding works. You have someone who owns a platform, and you present your cause to the platform administrator, and once they verify that the cause is urgent or is real, they'll post the cause to the website, and people contribute. The most popular one, all of you know, is GoFundMe. Very, very popular for urgent causes. Someone has died or is sick, and people raise, or someone has died, and people raise a lot of money, especially people in diaspora use that to raise money for different causes. The other one is called Global Giving. Everybody knows about Global Giving. It's also very, very popular for people putting together causes and people contribute. For businesses, of course, you're all familiar with angelinvestmentnetwork.com. There's also ourcrowd.com, there's Kickstarter, kickstarter.com, Indiegogo, and Lend a Hand. All those are platforms, crowdfunding platforms where you can support small businesses. So crowdfunding also works, and there are many, there are in thousands. Symbion, so you just need to get in touch with the admin, have your cause admitted. It's posted there. Put your targets, and you promote the link, and money starts flowing in. Once you've reached a target or whatever money is raised, probably every month, the organizers of the platform will send you the money. Some platforms take a small commission for the administrative fee, maybe 5%, or others will give you the money 100%. So that's one of the strategies for online fundraising that everybody can fit in. The other strategy is what you call peer-to-peer campaign fundraising campaigns. This one relates to professionals coming together because of their own interests. Maybe they could be lawyers or architects or engineers or even employers or companies. They identify a cause and they all contribute online, or they could even have physical activities such as a golf tournament. Last month, I participated in a golf tournament for Nairobi Hospice, and they're able to raise a sizable money because they're targeting, CEOs of companies and sponsors. You could also put up a swimming activity, marathons, running, walkathons, all targeted at fundraising for a cause. One of the most popular ones is a marathon run in Rome called Susan G. Komen Race for the Cure for Cancer. UNICEF also does a marathon in The Hague for raising money for its projects. So these are all causes that attract people. You want to participate in a race, and you also want to give. So that's one of the strategies, and you can have a digital component so that even before the event, money has already been raised digitally. The other one is fundraising emails. Like I said earlier, you can collect thousands of emails through a software, or create a website in such a way that when people visit your website, their emails are collected, so that then you send them newsletters. And there are also companies that have where you can list their emails, and they send out a campaign, and you pay for the cause. And the secret with email fundraising is you run many emails, over time, and keep reminding people of the cause and how they can, and also how they can contribute. And emails is still a powerful strategy for communication, and it can also be effective in fundraising. And these are some of the strategies that don't cost much. It just takes your strategic thinking and initiative, and you get donations coming into your organization to jumpstart your work. The other strategy that is very, very useful is t-shirt fundraising. Everybody loves t-shirts, so you just need to brand your t-shirts, put them online. A t-shirt printing can cost 20 euros, $20, and you sell the t-shirt for $10 or $20. And you make a profit. You can make 80% profit. And the more the campaign trends, work out a mechanism to deliver the t-shirt once someone has paid, and you can collect lots of money, or caps, t-shirts and caps, or other wares that can attract people So T-shirt fundraising is also one of the most effective digital fundraising strategy. The other one is Facebook fundraising. You have seen lots of times people posting a cause, fundraising for a funeral for someone who is sick. And Facebook, actually, if you go to the settings of Facebook, you'll find there's a space for Facebook fundraising where you indicate your cause, and then you promote that cause in something called a boost, and then you, of course, you show where the money should be sent. I think Facebook collects the money, and then they're able to send it to you. And then you can also promote the cause in more than one strategy. You could take it also to Instagram, you could take it to WhatsApp, share in groups. You could go to Twitter, LinkedIn. Now you can even do TikTok, and you can even go to Clubhouse. So the more strategies you use, the more people get to know about your campaign, the more the likelihood of raising money. And these are easy things. You just need to put together a budget and raise the cause, and go online, and the agencies that can actually assist you do that effectively without spending a lot of money. Or you could even do it yourself, by just trying and see how that works. Another online strategy you can use is donation matching. This one works with you can get a prominent person to promise to give say $10,000 or $10,000. And then you ask members of the public to match the donation. So people will work very hard to match that figure, and once you reach the target, then the donor now gives the share. Or you could even go through the traditional way to raise $5,000 or $10,000, and then go to the public, say the money is not enough, and if they can match the figure. And people are always willing to participate in some of these activities, and you raise your money and get to work. The other strategy, you've seen it all work, offline, is running a contest. You could go to a motor company and ask them to donate a car, and you sell raffles. And obviously, the winning ticket will not come out on the first day, to come out towards the end when you have reached your target. And the more that you promote the contest, like win a car competition, or win a house competition. And obviously, people are always willing to contribute. In fact, you could even work with a car company to propose the car, but they recover the money to meet the cost of the car. And then you have a winner for the car, and meanwhile you'll have raised, millions of dollars or hundreds of thousands of dollars using an online competition. So that's also one of the strategies that even small organizations can use to raise money. The other strategy is what you call online giving days. You could, as an organization, decide June is the month when you raise money for your organization. And you've seen that happening. February is considered African History Month. You could set up a theme, a fundraising theme or campaign towards that month. October is considered Breast Cancer Month. So you pick that month to fundraise for breast cancer. And you prepare as early as August, and then from September you roll out the campaign. Through emails, social media, through text messages, websites, viral videos. And the key thing is messaging and directing people where they can support your cause. And you can do that once a year, and you raise your budget for the rest of the year for your activities. You could also do what you call online auctions. You could get Michael Jackson's family to donate one of his popular costumes, sports memorabilia, or backstage tickets for a major event, for the Olympic or World Cup, a ticket to the museum. and you run the auctions, you know, and you can raise a lot of money. Obviously, you have to use online strategies to market the auctions, and key to that also is directing people where they will make the donations or buy tickets for the raffles, for the auctions, and you hit your targets. You know, you've seen major things are sold online that have historical significance, and you raise money for charities using online auctions. The other one is viral fundraising campaigns. You know, you could come up with a campaign that touches on an issue affecting society globally, climate change, and you know, ask people to join in the campaign for climate change, or for better farming methods, or for COVID. You know, and take it online, and people will contribute. We're always willing to contribute to social issues. So again, the strategy is what's the message, what's the strategy, and where is the checkout, and people are sending the money. One of the most popular one is one done in the US called Movember. This is a campaign, you know, to support men's health, and they raise a lot of money during that month, and it goes viral. The more you do it every year, the more it keeps, you know, catches the momentum. So you're able to raise a lot of money. The other strategy, online strategy, is donation for a vote. Is you could get 2 teams to come up with a challenge. Maybe the marathon runners, you know, big marathon runners between two countries, and people bet. You know, they vote who the winner will be, and in the process of voting, they also contribute $5 or $2 or $3. You know, and the results and the money is collected get to be known when the actual activity happens. So even betting companies are now using such a strategy for people to bet which team is going to win, and they can also contribute part of the money towards your charity. So these are all strategies that are working right now, and your organization can utilize the same to raise money online. The other most popular strategy is what you call ambassador or influencer fundraising. This relates to popular personality going online with a cause. Maybe you have a popular radio presenter in your country. You get to talk to him about your charity and about your needs, and he becomes an ambassador for maybe it's also climate change, or support for children's home, or support for COVID issues, and so on and so forth. And he runs with the messaging, goes online, he posts on his social media pages, and people sending money to a pay bill or to an account, and you raise a lot of money. All you need to do is your endorsement, and it works very, very well. You've seen lots of money being raised online for this and this cause. As long as you have an ambassador, UNICEF, UNDP, UNEP, they all use ambassadors to support their fundraising strategies, and that can work very, very well, you know, for your fundraising strategies. Thank you. I would now like to introduce a fundraising masterclass where we teach you how to fundraise professionally, so that you're able to raise money for your organization. And the rider is that you want to raise millions of dollars for your organizations. Yes, it's possible. We will coach you on how you can raise money. And this is what we'll teach you. We will teach you how to have a winner's mindset. The challenge we have noticed, as a, especially as a fundraiser, is that people get to doubt themselves, and the rule is for you to win in anything, 80% I would say is mindset, and 20% is strategy and tactics. So once you have a clear mindset that you want to raise money, trust me, you will raise money. If you are doubtful, and as a trainer, I've noticed lots of the people we train are always doubtful. Even putting together the proposal, you find there are lots of mistakes because they're also doubting themselves. So we will help you with a winner's mindset. We'll help you to how to plan to write a winning proposal. What to put together in terms of needs assessment and how to present that. We'll help you to identify the key components in a proposal. We'll teach you how to design a log frame because lots of donors require a log frame, especially bilateral donors such as USAID or UK funding. They require a log frame. We'll teach you online fundraising strategies, what I've taken you through. You will pick what can work for you, and you'll be ready to go to the marketplace to launch it. We'll identify steps of approaching and maintaining effective relationships with our donors. We've talked about, you remember Tuwongo was talking about maintaining relationships is very, very important. If you mess up with relationships with donors or even with the public online fundraising, the word goes out and you'll never be able to raise money. So look at it in terms of having healthy relationships means more money in the future. And we'll also give you an introduction to grants management so that when you win a grant, you know how to effectively manage it. And in the process, you'll attract more money in the future. Of course, some of the, in terms of technical aspects of writing a proposal, for those who don't know, you will need, we'll take you through a hands-on drill for writing an organizational background, writing about project planning and design, and basically writing a problem statement, formulating objectives and goal, developing activities, developing a work plan, writing about monitoring and evaluation, risks and assumptions, expected outcomes and impact, and developing a budget. Some people know how to write, many parts of a proposal, but then they have a challenge in developing or justifying a budget. So we'll take you through that through, hands-on drill, and most importantly is having the right mindset. This course takes you 3 months. The standard fee we charge is 800 euros, but we'll give you at a special offer of 499 if you register this week. If you're interested in registering, you send us an email at info@strategianetherlands.nl. And once you complete the course, we will also give you a certificate. Some people want a certificate so that they can show, if they're looking for a job in that area. We also have put together a international donor directory with 2,500 donors. We'll share that with you. So then we arm you. You don't have to ask. I saw someone asking that question, where do I find donors? We'll give you a tool to be able to access donors once you are empowered with the right mindset and the technical skills of writing a proposal. So to register, send us an email, info@strategianetherlands.nl, and we'll guide you through to the course so that you raise money in view of the hard times we are living in. Again, someone asked, where do you get this recording? Please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube page, Strategia Netherlands YouTube page, where we post all the webinar videos. There are already about 15 there pertaining to monitoring and evaluation, project management, water and sanitation, proposal writing and fundraising. So subscribe to our YouTube page and you will get all the recordings there. And I think I stop there. I'll take a few questions and then we call it a day. Thank you very much for your time. And let's continue this conversation so that we can all raise money and make a change in our societies. Thank you. Who has a question? Raise your hand and I'll be happy to respond to you. Okay. Nick, please, Kenneth Obiero has a question. Samuel Sifuna. Let's take those two first.
Hello,
Kenneth, can go
everyone.
first. Hello, Kenneth.
Yes, hello, everyone. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I just wanted to pick your brain on my thinking around what do I do after this. I am currently in the partnership, fundraising, and strategic plan space. When I just saw the offer, which goes to $499, is it euros or dollars?
Euros.
For the training, yeah.
Yeah.
Mine was, I believe I've got a small gap, maybe a 20% gap.
Yeah.
Now, I would then be like, could I join you in a way, or how would I work with you so that I can be part of this? Maybe it's a bit confusing to me because I will not be learning much, but again, I can't say that I will be learning nothing, but that's the mix that I am in. My current role is fundraising. Actually, I've been engaged to do a fundraising strategy for an organization that I started working for in the first of this month. Over to you. Thank you.
Thank you. Just to respond to your question, Kenneth, send us an email, and we will take a case by case. We are here to support you. So send us an email, and we will see how we can assist you. Our objective is to say that you attain skills and support, make a change in your community. So we are open to discussion. Please just send an email, and then we'll look into it. Sifuna, there was a question from Sifuna. Sifuna was next. Thank you, Kenneth. And then we'll take from Oludare. Sifuna? Okay, I think he's gone offline. Let's take from Oludare. Adewale.
Hello.
Yes, okay, Sifuna, continue, please.
Okay, my question is, first of all, I'd like to appreciate you for a comprehensive presentation and eye-opening presentation.
Yeah.
I would also like to know if you give any form of scholarship, be it partial, as far as pursuing that course is concerned. I'm really interested.
Yes, sometimes we give scholarships, but they are on case by case. So you'd have to present your course, and then we evaluate it. But most of them are paid courses because we have to pay our coaches. And remember, this is a results-driven course. It's a masterclass. Masterclasses are not academic, where you take 1 year. It's a crash program where we want you to get results within 3 months, and people are looking for answers, not necessarily a certificate. They want to take a course so that they can move to the next step and fundraise. So that's why we have to get the best coaches to train you, experienced fundraisers. So, please present your case, send us an email, and we'll look into it, and we'll see what we can do. Can I get a question from a lady, please? I know I can see Simon, I can see Oluduare. Oluduare first, then we take a question from a lady, just to be fair and to balance. Oluduare, please go. And you can tell us where you are logging in from. Oluduare, yes, please continue. Oludare, please. Okay, he's not talking, he's quiet. Okay, Simon Wamu, I can see your hand is up.
Yes. I don't know whether you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you. Continue.
Oh, thank you so much. Although I joined midway through the presentation, but I must appreciate that it has been a wonderful presentation by you and the Auntie Tiwonge. So I'm interested in the course. Yes. And I'm wondering how convenient is it to a person who is busy as well. So I'm wondering, is it tailored to a single student? Do you have a specific timetable? Is it standard to all the participants?
Thank you, Simon. We'll give you a schedule for the Zoom meetings, and we are also always very, very flexible because we have lots of professionals, including CEOs of organizations whose time is limited. So we are very, very flexible to even give you a session. If you miss the group session, we can always adjust to give you a session. And if you cannot finish the course within 3 months, we're always flexible to extend without penalties. So we are flexible. Just make an application, and then you tell us what the challenges you might have, and we are always quick to respond to time issues. And of course, also having a global audience means you have to keep adjusting timings, because when it's daytime in Africa, it's night in America. So we always do those considerations for everyone as much as possible. Let's get a question from a lady, please. I know there are ladies in the house. Please. Any lady asking a question? Okay. Oludare, are you ready? Okay. Sarah Sayo, please. Let's have one lady for a change.
Okay, thank you, John.
Yeah.
For me, it's not really a big question, just a simple one. I have noticed trends whereby we have NPOs and NGOs, and I know some NGOs fall between being non-profit, because NPOs basically says non-for-profit organization, and government, and NGO is non-government organization. So is it a shift in is it a strategic shift to help these NGOs move into NPO, to just help them in reaching a bigger audience, and not really because they're maybe looking to work with also governments? Or what would you say is the difference between an NGO and an NPO? Is it the same, or is it just a strategic way of branding?
I think, okay, thank you very much, Sarah, for your participation. I think it depends on how the organization is registered in your country. In some countries, they refer to all non-profit organizations as NPOs, but they all mean the same. Legally, for example, in most parts of Africa, NGO, non-governmental, is a legal form of registration. But it also might incorporate even community organizations, faith-based organizations, because they are all non-profit. So it's a question of how the organization is registered in your country. NPO might refer to, or non-profit organizations might refer to all charity organizations, whether they are churches, community organizations, or NGOs. But NGO is a legal terminology used for incorporating NGOs. But they basically mean the same. I don't think there's a strategic direction they all mean the same, that they are not for profit. The key issue is that they don't make profits, and you're either a non-profit or you're a profit-making organization, but they all mean the same. When it comes to fundraising or soliciting for donor funding, the principles are the same. That's what donors look at. Are you for profit or non-profit? Although in some situations, some donors actually can fund profit-making organizations, for maybe CSR purposes or for whatever other reason. Thank you. Let's have Alfred. Alfred's hand has been on for a long time. Alfred, please. Alfred Kerele, and you can tell us where you're logging in from. Okay.
All right, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, please. Thank you.
All right, I'm Alfred from Nigeria. Thank you so much. It has been a wonderful section with you. I want to ask, like the previous question that I was asked, having the understanding that majority of us here work in local organizations for just to enhance community development, I mean at the grassroots level. So how would you like to advise real strategic fundraising at the grassroots level? Or is it that we're going to work more on developing content so that we attract donors with activities and I think over time, many donors will not like to invest in local NGOs because they don't have the big names, thinking they will not be able to work perfectly or implement project very well. So what would you advise us to do around that?
Okay, I think in fact that issue had been discussed by Tiwonge. Tiwonge is still in the house. Maybe you can also chip in. What we would like to advise small organizations. It's not that big organizations do not want to fund them. Now, and I'm sorry, without due respect, because I've worked with NGOs for over 20 years. We almost have, I'm sorry to say, a cartel scenario where the big organizations will always compete for funding. And I know of an organization in Kenya which has as many as 50 donors. And they're always having small programs here and there. So the way to do it, like Tiwonge had advised, if you're a small organization, is to join
Hello?
Hello, we lost you, Mr.
We
John.
lost you, John. Yes, I think I can come in. I remember we had that discussion where we're looking at some of the challenges that organizations, especially the community-based or small organizations, face in entering the market. So I was advising to say that it's important to actually partner with an organization that already has relationships with donors so that you can leverage on those particular partnerships. Also, I shared to say that you need to have your own growth plan in mind to say that over time we should be able to grow as an organization and be able, not maybe growing in terms of digits or maybe not growing in terms of maybe your reach, geographical reach, but you look at what are the key requirements that most donors are looking for and make sure that you satisfy those at the very minimum. So there are things like external audit reports, you need to have a board in place. So things like those are things that now every other donor is looking for and you can't run away. I think gone are the days when you'd find a donor willing just to throw in money to an organization without, asking for much. But I think in the challenging context and with the growing competition, we also need to stand out as an organization and have the right systems in place. Over.
Thank you.
John, yes, I've seen there are more hands here. John, are you able to see the hands? There is Sarah.
Yes, can we take Aaron Matiba, please?
Yes, thank you, John, for the opportunity. Actually, yes. Mine is a very simple question, and Aaron is from Kenya. Yes. My question is about whether the amount that you've got to pay for the course should be paid, upfront, or you can pay, sort of like in 1 or 2 installments. I mean, about 2 or 3 installments. Yeah, yes. That's my question. Thank you. Back to you.
Yes, Aaron. Thank you for your question and thank you for participating. You can pay in a minimum of 2 installments. We are flexible.
That's very good. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Georges, Sarah is still Georges yes. Gamba. Please, Georges, go.
Thank you for the presentation. I have, we did learn a lot through the presentation. I happen to run an organization that try to offer visibility to local NGOs across the continent. So I would like to ask if it's possible to partner with you in a way that those who join your courses could benefit. That we produce content, written articles or video or podcasts to support them in terms of visibility, and they can also use this content that we produce them to reach out to partners. The work we do it basically for free for this for local NGOs in Africa that do not have resources to communicate on their own. So I'll just be dropping the link to our platform here. And obviously, if you like to, I can also send you an email so that we can, talk about this one, later.
Sure. Thank you, Georges. We are here to support small organizations and big organizations as well. So send us an email, and we could even give you a session in the next webinar to talk about how you can support organizations. If you are willing, we can do that. So we welcome ideas. We are living in hard times. So anybody with a resource that wants to share with a partnership, feel welcome to do that. Thank you.
Thank you too.
Oludare, are you ready? Oludare, your hand has been up for a long time. Please talk. Oludare Adewale. Okay, I think he has a problem with the microphone. Aram Ayime. Oludare.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Please continue.
Oh, good. Although the audio is quite problematic here, but what I want to say is that although I quite joined late, but what I've been hearing is mind-blowing, and I thank God for having the opportunity to be part of this webinar session. Most of my questions have been attended to, but simply I just want to ask, number one, do you offer postgraduate diploma or a master degree course, or do you only offer master classes, master sessions? And number two, do you offer physical sessions, whereby possibly one can come over to Kenya or in a physical space for about a period of 2-3 weeks and have some solid period of learning?
Thank you, Oludare, for your question and for participating in this webinar. We offer, we used to offer face-to-face training, but that has been hampered by COVID. But we can arrange for a session for you. We also offer certificate courses. We offer diploma courses and postgraduate diploma in different thematic areas: monitoring and evaluation, project management. But for this particular masterclass is a certificate course, for you to acquire hands-on course. But if you need a longer training, we can always send us an email, and we can invite you to Kenya or to the Netherlands to participate in one of our trainings. We hope COVID will be behind us by next year, and we can resume our face-to-face training workshops. Thank you. There is Simon has already. Ariam, you may go next, please.
Hello, thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you.
It is a very good session we are having. I wanted to find out about your investor list. Yeah. You said if you finish the masterclass, you have access to about 2,500 investor list. I wanted to know, if you don't attend a masterclass, you offer services to organizations to meet directly with investors. So maybe we can pay a fee and you give us the investors list, or you connect us with investors. Thank you.
Yes, we can share that with you. We will sell that on its own for $100. So just send us an email and we'll send you a link. You make the payment, and we send you the. In fact, we have a donors list, and we also have an investors list. So you tell us what you need. We've labored putting together the directory, and we're happy to share with you. Then you can proceed to the next stage of raising money for your organization. Victor Sibeko, thank you. Victor Sibeko, go next. I think we'll take 2 more questions, and then we'll be done for today. And then we'll have another session next month, and we'll keep building our resources. So Victor Sibeko, please go next.
Good morning in South Africa, or good day in South Africa.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for a very informative session. Okay, there was some disturbance. I'm actually wearing 3 or 4 caps, but I'll just keep it down to 3.
Okay.
I'm the Chief Executive Officer of the Public Relations Institute of Southern Africa. And I also sit on the advisory board for the African Public Relations Association, APRA. But over and above that, we have partnered with Africa Brand Summit. So this topic is very interesting, and it's a much more required topic. I believe in collaboration and partnerships rather than reinventing the wheel. We do have specialists in South Africa that present on this topic, but I find this to be quite interesting, very fresh, and I look forward to having a further discussions or conversation with you and the organization to see how we can bring in this masterclass to be run in Southern Africa, which is SADC, with members. We're currently active in 11 SADC countries out of 15. So we'd like to, number one, run the SADC masterclass, and secondly, we would like to see if we could bring this to the Africa Brand Summit as a masterclass, either during our monthly webinar sessions or bring it in end of the year when we do the annual conference with the Africa Brand Summit, which has grown tremendously. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for your contribution. We are always open to collaborate because collaboration is strength. It's a win-win. So send us an email and let us know how we can work together. We always happy to network with others, so that together we achieve more. Thank you. Jefferson, let's hear from Jefferson. Jefferson, please go next. Jefferson. Mother. Okay, let's hear from Mother. I think Jefferson is not ready. Mother, please go next.
Okay, thank you, John. Yeah, my name is Martha Denuka from Tanzania. I just want to find out whether you offer mentorship as well to participants who want to pursue more, to go further in fundraising studies. Thank you.
Yes, we do. What the only challenge is we have to put it in the context of a course. We can also come to offer the course in Tanzania. I've personally been to Arusha and Dar es Salaam to train on fundraising many times. So if you're able to plan such a workshop for us, we are happy to come and offer the training. Alternatively, because of the challenges the world is experiencing, we can also do an online coaching or mentorship. We can design a program, and we always are flexible. Just tell us what your needs are, and we'll come to where you are. Thank you. Let me take one more question from someone. Godfrey.
Yes, George. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you.
I'm direct from Uganda.
Yes.
I joined late, but sincerely, I must appreciate your team, and you in particular for what you've been presenting. My question is, I wanted to know if your organization can also extend this kind of tailor-made training, which is so interesting, to Uganda, and so that some of us could benefit from it, because whatever you've been sharing is really a fresh knowledge that have not yet come to my attention, and I'm really very interested to be part of, to gain from this knowledge here. Thank you.
Thank you, Godfrey. Again, like I said, we are always ready to come to where you are. In fact, I've also been to Kampala, I've been to South Sudan, to Juba, Tanzania, to Kigali. So give us an invitation and we'll come and offer training to members of your team. So if we are not able to come in person, we can always discuss to offer a program online. So I know, capacity building is a real need for most African countries, and we are here to support those needs. So feel free to talk to us, and we'll be flexible to do that. I think I'll take one more question so that then we wind up. Tuwong, would you like to do closing remarks?
Yeah, sure, I can do that. Maybe we take the one more question. I've seen there are 2 more hands, so maybe this could be it. And then I can do the final remarks.
All right, thank you. One more question. Whose hand is up?
Sua.
Sua, Jefferson Sua. Yeah, Jefferson Sua. Sua, please.
Is the one we couldn't.
Yes.
Okay. All right. In that case, then I think this marks the end of our session webinar today. It's been a pleasure. And also, I think just to say that the energy in the participants has been quite electric. And also it has given us very good angles of reflection in terms of how we can build on and strengthen our future courses. We will surely be inviting you to many more courses and presentation, because our main aim is to build your capacity, because we believe that NGOs offer a very good platform in terms of working in the development sector and improving the lives of people in the various communities and capacities. We are available and will provide you the necessary support. And as John said, please drop an email, and then we should be able to provide you the much needed support. Otherwise, we are also here to learn from your experience and capacities, and that we also wish you all the best. I know it's such a challenging time in the different countries and then in the different contexts. We wish you well, and please stay safe. And also for the different organizations you work with, we wish you all the best in your fundraising efforts. So go out there and win as much as you can. All the best.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Tuwonge. Your contribution was very, very, very resourceful. We've learned so much. And I think the most important thing is that you have given us hope that it's possible. I think that's all we need, and we will overcome. So thank you so much for your contribution, and we'll definitely continue working with you.
Great.
So I'd like to take this opportunity to thank you guys for your participation, for your input. We all learn from each other. And again, we will upload the video before the end of the day to our YouTube page, so that you can follow through the video at your own convenience. And there's so much to learn. Please subscribe so that whenever we upload the videos, you have access, you get a notification. And finally, I want to thank our team that put this together in Nairobi. Nick and Victorine, Walter, I can see Mark. Thank you very much. And let's keep the conversation running, believing that we can make it. Thank you, and God bless you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
It's no secret that Africa is the next frontier, and you can be the next big investor. At Strategia Business School, we'll offer you a monthly masterclass that will help you build your network among respected entrepreneurs and business leaders, and guide you on the opportunities available and how to mitigate any challenges of investing in Africa. Our African Business Club will also introduce you to our team of African business mentors and fellow investors, all tailored to your very own needs. Among the modules covered are doing business in Africa, raising investment and trade finance, importing from Africa and exporting to Africa, agribusiness opportunities in Africa, and understanding the African market. You can also register for online diploma business courses with a flexible learning schedule. Some of our courses include Diploma in Digital Marketing, Diploma in Sales and Marketing, Diploma in Finance Management, and Diploma in Logistics Management. Certificate courses run for 3 months, while diploma courses run for 6 months, and you can register at the beginning of every month. The cost for certificate courses is 500 euros, while diploma courses cost 800 euros. Take action and register today. For more information, contact info@strategiabusiness.com or visit www.strategiabusiness.com. We offer free. Are you interested in building a career in the development and humanitarian sector? Then Strategia Netherlands is the best option for you. We offer training solutions to the United Nations, governments, NGOs, and other development organizations worldwide. Make your online application now for Diploma in Monitoring and Evaluation, Diploma in Grants Management, Diploma in Conflict Management, Diploma in Disaster Management, Diploma in Water, Sanitation and Hygiene, and many more. The cost for diploma courses is 800 euros, while postgraduate courses cost 1,200 euros. Visit www.strategianetherlands.nl for more information.